Welcome to Moms of the Lou, hosted by two fellow St. Louis moms, Rebecca
and Lauren,
and recorded for St. Louis moms.
Grab your laundry basket, kick your feet up for nap time, or head out the door for pickup, and spend a little time catching up with local moms who are making a big impact in St. Louis.
Let's dive into our discussion today. All right, St. Louis moms, we are back for another episode of Moms of the Lou. We are well into the school year, and today I'm so excited to be chatting with one of our very favorite local mom educators, Marissa Farrell.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, I'm so excited to finally be chatting. We've wanted to do this for a while.
Yes.
And here we are.
We made it happen.
You've had a lot happen this year.
A lot.
What is going on in the Farrell family?
In the Farrell family, we are now a family of four.
Yes.
We welcomed our second daughter, Vada, in March. So our daughters, our oldest, Mila, is 18, 19 months.
Yes.
And yeah, they're 13 months apart. So
You're busy.
we're busy.
You are
for
busy.
sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Adjusting to that life. And it's a dream. And we feel very blessed to have two beautiful, healthy babies who are busy and smart and just doing all fun things.
Yes.
Mhm.
You have I always tell people full hands, but a full heart.
Full heart.
Full
all
heart.
the way. Yes.
You know. So,
First,
awesome.
yeah.
So you are a teacher, so we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
But you are also, I kind of like to call you Mrs. Bucket List.
Yeah,
So tell
I
us
love
about that
that.
connection too.
Okay, yeah. So Bucket List, started back in 2019 with Luke and I. It's just something that we started together. It really popped off during COVID when we were trying to support local businesses and highlighting curbside pickups. And it really just the engagement blew up from there. And then as the numbers of I guess your following increased and people started recognizing, I think, the quality of what we were doing and, sending us stuff. I'm like, this is crazy. Like just the transition of the social media world was very shocking for us.
Yeah.
And now we're at like 230,000 followers.
Amazing.
It's insane. And Luke has turned it into his own business, which makes me so proud of him, working on his own, starting something on his own and building this amazing team. And he has great drive, which is very inspiring to me. And so my full-time position is I'm a teacher in the Parkway School District. I teach high school English, freshmen, sophomores, seniors. So a little bit of everything. I run or sponsor two clubs. So I'm Stuco teacher, and then I started my own club called the Sister Project, which is a mentorship program for young girls, just to kind of navigate high school, the struggles of high school, drama, stress, anxiety, confidence, all of these things. So that's kind of things and topics we tackle. And that's just like the 9 to 5. And then there's the, we'll call it 12 to 12, around the clock.
5 to 9, the 12 to 12.
The 12 to 12, really. And then I just run home to my girls and
to your girls
and have family time.
I love that. So where are some places you like to go with your girls in St. Louis?
Well, I did make a little list.
Oh,
so
yes.
I'm going to read that
We love a
because
list.
we're obviously just coming off summer break, which was so fun, especially with Mila being a toddler and being able to run around.
Yes.
I have 6 things that we really enjoyed, all of which were free or like $10 or less. So we did so much this summer on like a dime.
Perfect.
The Magic House Toddler Time has, before they open to the public, 8:30 to 9:30 for $5. They do a different theme every week. And so you can sign up and take your toddler, and they have a bunch of cool activities, and you can kind of run around a little area. Your public library, guys, that is the best.
The best.
When we moved to Cottleville, we were still driving to Kirkwood because I just had been going there when we lived in the city, but now we're in St. Charles. So we do the story time there. It's like perfectly timed for the attention span of the little kids.
Absolutely.
And then mine does like these STEM kits that you can check out. So we get to bring home like new games and things. So that's perfect. Missouri History Museum. Mila always has a ball there.
The best.
In Wentzville, Stacy's 2, which is a second edition of their like tumbling and gymnastics building. So it's specifically for the littles. And so that was $10 for a good hour of running around and
I love this.
Mila was doing the silks. It was really fun.
I love that.
Play Street Museum in Streets of St. Charles. Such a cute, like, little town, I guess, for like good imaginative play.
Yep.
And then again, another free event that we love is the Whitaker Festival in the Botanical Gardens that runs through the summer. Live music, bring a blanket, bring your own food. Bring some friends, and that's what we love to do.
I think we need you over on St. Louis Mom.
I know, right? I know. I have so much like mom content that I'm like, we need to start channeling that on Bucket List. Is putting out more family stuff. So a work in progress.
Mom life on a dime.
That's
I love
right.
it.
Yeah.
I love it. What about a date night? Where do you guys like to go if you get away?
I love Sado. Sado is so divine. Yeah. That was where we went for our first date after we had Mila, and it never misses. Yeah. It's so good.
The best.
And then I've got Sasha's on Shaw. I love, or Demine. That's my favorite spot with friends. Yeah.
Something
about the atmosphere is just like good.
You kind of feel like you're like in the city.
Yeah,
that's like how in New York or something.
Yes, I just said that. So that's one of my favorites. And then Yellow Belly. They have a great happy hour. I love their oysters. I always get the Spam fried rice.
Yeah.
And it's, again, never misses. That's always my birthday place.
I've never been. Never been.
Gotta go.
I know. Never been
to go. It is,
but I've seen it on
and
so
the
many
drinks,
lists.
like it's so good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
very cool.
Those are my date night spots.
Very cool. So we're well into the school year. Your day job is you're a full-time educator. So what have you? I want to talk a little bit about being a teacher as a mom.
Yeah,
because I'm wondering what shift have you seen and maybe what you really appreciate about your job versus what now has become maybe even more difficult?
Yes. So I think I'll kind of flip it the other way in terms of it's difficult because what I was used to was pouring everything into my job before I had my kids. Yep. I worked after school when my husband was still at work because I had the time. And now it's more difficult to find the balance, I think, of like, I teach English, so that requires a lot of feedback of writing. Yeah. And so feeling like I'm not giving the kids that because I'm trying to balance and not work at home because I'm home now. So I want to be with my children. Yeah. And so I think just figuring out other ways, more efficient ways to deliver feedback and be present with my students has been difficult. I think also as a mom, the engagement with parents, you see things differently. Ooh. It's like you understand where parents are coming from when they're trying to support their child, but you're also like, I'm a mom and I would hope that a teacher would hold my child accountable for things, if that makes sense. So that can be difficult.
We
but
have blind spots. Moms, for sure.
You do, and you have blind spots as a teacher. Like sometimes I have to check myself if I'm being frustrated. Like, well, how would I feel if a teacher handled my child like this? So that I guess is a positive too. And then just the positive of it is that now being a mom, I'm like, these are, even though they're high school kids, like this is someone's baby. And like, I want to make sure that, I'm supporting my students the best way that I can and that they're getting something out of, I always say like, yes, I teach English, but I teach life skills. Yeah. So it's important for me. Like, we're not just worrying about like how to write and grammar, but like, how can you carry yourself into adulthood as you leave high school? Like that's important to me. Right. So it's almost like a good time I get to practice before my kids get there and 16 years, 15 years. So it's I think also coming back from maternity leave after I had Mila, my first, one of my colleagues made like a countdown of how many days, because I came back in April. So there was like 5-6 weeks left of school. Yep. So she made a countdown with a quote from working women on each day of like ripping off about like, I know it's hard to leave your child, but also like you're modeling something for your child of like working hard. And so that just kind of changed my perspective of like, I might cry when I leave and go back to work, but like it is important for her to see like, you can be strong, you can work, you can be anything and do anything, and make that happen for yourself and for your family. So
totally.
That's kind of a positive.
I feel like, my work is with St. Louis Mom is a little bit different in that like I'm very much full time, but it's not like a like a 9 to 5 day.
It's more flexible.
It's more flexible. And I feel like whenever I go away from my kids, whether it's to like a meeting or to a coffee shop to work or to an event, and I come back, I'm just always so excited to see them,
You are.
and to spend time with them. And
To step away.
Yes.
You're recharged a little because your soul, that's the thing, like balancing your social life, your work life, your marriage, your friendships,
all the things.
It's a lot. And so navigating that takes time. But once you get comfortable kind of stepping out a little bit, you're like, okay, like I needed that. So like even going back to work, like as hard as it is, I come home and I'm like, I felt so productive with what I did.
Yeah.
You know, I look at all these like lessons I taught and things we did. And then I get to come home and like, you know, it's another dynamic that we're doing. And so it's fun.
Yeah. And you're reminded of like, this is why I'm doing it. You know, this is why I'm doing it so that I can have the means to then go and like
That's right.
spend time with them and do things with them. And yeah, I think whenever our cup is filled, then we have a little bit more to pour out.
That's right.
You know,
exactly right.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you think about going from 1 to 2 babies? What's that been like?
So I think 1 to 2 has been more challenging than 0 to 1.
Yeah, agree.
I used to work in early childhood. So I had I worked with 2-year-olds. I had such a good sense of like what was coming as a new parent that I didn't feel shell shocked. Like when we had Mila, I just knew what to do. And I was kind of already like very maternal. Yeah. And Luke was just like, you're going to teach me how to be a dad. Like I'm going to like follow your lead and like learn how to change a diaper.
The ultimate girl dad, isn't he?
He's such a girl.
Dad.
I'm like, when we found out as a girl, I'm like, yeah, dude, you're meant to be a girl dad. I'm sorry. I know you want a boy eventually, but you got girl dad all over you. Yeah. And so just, you know, I knew what to do. And so then you have your first child and it's magic. And you're obsessed and you lay around all day as a newborn when you're a newborn and stare at them. Right. And you're just amazed that you grew this human and that they're in the world. Yep. And you wonder who they're going to be. And you're every milestone, you're like, look, she's rolling. She's crawling. Look, she just tried peas for the first time, right? Like it's amazing. Then you have your second and it's hard because you gave everything to your first. And so then you have this guilt of not being able to do it all, but you're trying to do it all. And so we've found a little bit, which is funny because when our neighbor had told us like 2, you go in different directions, like one parent's with one kid, one's with the other. And it is very true. Like Luke's got a lot of Mila time right now because Vada needs me. 100%. And that is hard. And so just not feeling guilty about that has been a challenge, but we've navigated. It took like a good month to kind of get it down. And I couldn't imagine it any other way. And I'm, again, like as they're both getting older, I'm like, we're so close to the point where like they're going to be interacting with each other. They're already laughing at each other, which is so sweet. So sweet. I'm like, as hard as it is, I'm such a, you know, when you get pregnant, people give you the negative, just wait. Yeah. I'm a positive of that. And I like my friends who are about to have their second, I love to be like, just wait till like your oldest is like kissing on the baby or helping you or puts the pacifier in her mouth. Like, I try and focus on the positives because it is a blessing to have them and choose your hard, you know, choose your hard. I'm like, it's hard, but it's also just the best thing ever.
Totally. So. I feel like, with 1 to 2, with 1, I feel like you're still able to kind of fold them into your life. You know, you're still able to like, it definitely changes your life, but you know, not maybe as dramatically as you're expecting. You know, you can still take them places and, you know, just
like go to Target and you could put like I could put Mila in the front. Now I'm like, okay, Mila's in the front and Vada's in the back in her seat. And I'm like, I've got underneath the cart to put whatever I need. Like, totally. Which is probably good for my shopping habits because I'm spending less, but it's just small things like that.
It's so true.
Everything takes a little longer.
I know. My kids asked me the other day, they were like, Mom, you have to have a favorite. We know, like, secretly you definitely have a favorite. And I said, I really don't. Yep. And my daughter was like, well, how do you love us all equally? Same. And I said, it is such a mystery. I can't explain it to you because you're all so different. But I love you all
for your qualities.
Yes.
But they're your children and there's just this this thing it does to your heart when you're next to them or you're talking to them, and your heart just, it's like, you are my heart, like outside of me. Like that's why we just love you the same. Yeah. My mom used to say her goal was like, if you asked each child who's mom's favorite, each one would say me.
Oh,
each one should say me, right? So that's the mentality, you know. We're all the favorites.
I love that. Okay, so we're well into the school year. We have a lot of moms who follow us who have school-aged children, right? All different ages. Yeah. What, for you as an educator, what do you really value in how you partner with parents on their child's education?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. So just like a small anecdote of like teaching English and reading novels, like not every kid wants to read. And I remember having a family who during conferences, they were like, can we get a copy of the book? Because they were like reading it with their child. So I think just taking time to invest like in what your child is doing, you know, don't just take their word for it. If they're like, yeah, I don't have any homework, like really see what they're doing. Because I think that it's just like reading, like when your kids are little and you take them to the library, you're actively involved. And I know content gets harder and like out of our comfort zone the older we get, but just even like sitting down with them and like problem solving if they're struggling and just being more invested in their education and what they're doing, I think makes all the difference of how your kid feels about school. Yeah. And then just even the relationship of what you guys can do as a family. Yeah. So just investment in what they're doing, care, ask them truly like, how was your day? Good. Okay, good. Like, tell me something about your day that was good, or tell me something that was bad or that you're struggling with. Like, have intentional conversations and time with your kids while they're in school.
I love that. And that takes effort. That takes time and effort, right?
Because we don't always have the time, but even at dinner, I don't know, like, I hope families still sit down and have family. I know, like, we have swim school on Thursdays at Foss. And so it's like, that's a rush. And so I can only imagine when it's like your kid gets home at 4 and then you've got, I get it. It's hard, but even use the car ride.
Yeah, totally.
Talk about it, you know, over your McDonald's or whatever you're getting. So just intention.
Do you feel like you have the support you need as an educator right now? I know that's been such a big issue, you know?
Yeah, that like is challenging. I feel it's just hard. It is. It's sometimes I feel honestly no. And sometimes I definitely like my colleagues in my department are very empathetic to, you know, I have a new baby and like and balancing that, like I'm taking on a new prep, I'm teaching honors this year, and like my colleagues are very patient and like we will help you, and so that's nice. But then there's like just simple things of like I nurse. Yeah. And so finding time in the classroom day to, can someone come hang out in my class so I can do that for 20 minutes? Yeah. You know, it's difficult. So just logistics like that is hard. And as a country, FMLA, like that is a whole nother conversation I could get into. And so that can feel like a lack of support essentially. But I would say for the most part, I do. Like with the people I truly work with on a day-to-day. And, you know, my administration is they're excited. I'm like, hey, I'm pregnant again. I know I just was gone last year. And they're like, that's great. And so it's nice to have that as a response as like a scoff or something, you know? Yeah. So I would say so.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like just in any motherhood journey, it's learning to figure out what we need, right? And learning to advocate for it.
Ask for it.
Communicate it. And like, not expect that somebody
understands or knows.
Yeah. Understands or knows or is going to anticipate what you need. And I think that's for me been like a big part of my motherhood journey is like learning how to ask for it. You know?
And I think that's what you guys have done with St. Louis Mom. And that's why I love you guys so much is like when I had Mila, you brought me a meal, and I'll never forget that. Like just those just moments of compassion and understanding of what you're going through as a mom. And you know, we all I think there's sometimes like a embarrassment or shame of asking for help. Like you're supposed to have it figured out and do it all. But like I've learned that especially with number 2, you have to ask for help. You have to use a village. There's time and time people had villages. That's why there's a saying, it takes a village.
100%.
That exists for a reason. So
that's right. And we weren't meant to do it all alone. You know, we weren't, and nobody is doing it alone. And if they say they are, they're lying.
You're lying, girl. You're lying. Totally.
Yeah. So what are you looking forward to this school year?
I am looking forward to winter break, whenever that comes around, but also just, again, teaching a new class. It's going to be fun for me to step out of my comfort zone. I've been here for 5 years and, you know, it gets redundant doing the same thing. So as anxious as I was to take on like a new prep, it is going to be exciting to have a group of kids who are like really motivated about the content. Yep. And just, it's always fun. Like, homecoming, being Stuco sponsor, like all these things are fun things. And like, as I'm getting back into it, like just as the weeks have gone by, I'm like, I like my job. I do like this. Like it's fun and it's enjoyable to be around people who all are excited about the work that we do, the profession.
Well, I'll go on the record and say that my high school English teacher was 100% my favorite of them all.
They always are.
I mean, we had a real trial of Macbeth.
Oh, my favorite.
It was so great. It lives in my memory.
Yeah,
it's so vividly.
Just one fun exercise and
Okay, so you are a mom of 2 now, and these little ladies are
13 months apart.
13 months apart.
Yes.
How's that going?
It is wild. So yes, we had planned to try for our second when Mila was 1, which would have been January. And then come October, we found out that we were 20 weeks pregnant with Vada.
What?
And had no idea. So yeah, I, just had not a symptom in sight to tell me that I was pregnant. Other than the fact that one day I thought it looked like I ate a little big of a lunch or something. I was like wearing this like form-fitting skirt and I kind of had like, a little pudge and I thought,
a little bloating.
No, a little bloating. Totally, again, just had a baby. So, I took a test. We had like parent-teacher conferences that night and I was like, I'm just going to grab a test. It'll probably be negative and I'll feel real bad about myself. And I took the test at home and it was a very dark positive line. And I said to Luke, this is positive. And he's like, you're lying. Like he thought I brought like a fake, test, the fake positives. I'm like, this is truly positive. So we called to make an appointment for the doctor the next day, to which I felt flutters. And if you know about, when you're pregnant, the flutters, you're quite far. You're like, that's the first like little bit of movement. Yeah. So I went back and looked at Mila's baby book and I was like, flutters. 17 weeks. I'm like, what if I'm 17 weeks? I hope not. And so the next day we had the ultrasound and she put the gel on and I saw the baby and Luke and I looked at each other and I'm thinking 20 weeks.
You're like, that is a baby.
That's a full-grown baby. And so she says, well, you're 19 weeks and 6 days. And our jaws, they hit the floor. We just
dropped.
Oh my God. And she goes, do you want to find out what you're having? And we're like, well, we found out we were pregnant like 3 days ago. So you might as well throw the gender at us. And she's like, it's a girl. And I was like, another girl. Stop. It was crazy. So I'm like, now we get to tell everyone we are pregnant and that we are halfway through. So.
Yeah, well, you guys don't do things like, half-assed. Pardon my French, but you guys just go for it.
All in, babe, all in. So it was crazy.
I love it.
A great little surprise blessing, just early.
Well, and I love that for you that your first trimester is not rough.
It wasn't bad.
So many people suffer.
I was with Mila, so I'm glad that I'm like, well, it was so good. I didn't even know she was in there.
Yeah. That's amazing.
But she's healthy and great and perfect, so meant to be for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so last question, and then we're going to wrap it up. Fall's coming up. Mm-hmm. We are just a couple weeks away from fall.
Yes, my favorite season.
Where do you like to go with the girls? Fall. Do you have a favorite pumpkin patch?
This might be cliche, totally, but I do love to go to Eckert's. Yes. We actually, when I grew up, we would take the ferry. So that's what Luke and I have done. We take the ferry, the Grafton Ferry over, and then we go to Eckert's and we ride the tractor, which again, as a parent, it's fun to do things again that you did as a child. Yes. But through your kids' eyes, it's just more enjoyable. So we do Eckert's and then we'll carve our pumpkins at home and I love Halloween. We invite our family over. I make chili. We do the fire pit, and it's just my favorite season. We hang out in the yard. The girls will play with the leaves. All cliche, but just things that feel good. They feel good, and it's just the best.
And those basic moments like that will live in their memory forever, you know? That will be trademark for them.
Totally, for sure.
Awesome. Okay, well, Marissa, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Hope you have a great school year.
Thank you. Me too. It'll be good.
All right, St. Louis moms, we will catch you on our next episode of Moms of the Lou. Thanks for listening to Moms of the Lou. We hope it encouraged you and put a pep in your step and helped you get to know our community a little bit better. Be sure to find us on Instagram, STLouis_mom. You can find us on Facebook, St. Louis Mom. You can find us on our website, www.stlouismom.com. In case nobody else tells you today, you're a great mom and you're doing a great job. Chat with you next time.